Good evening, everybody. Welcome back. This is Molly's Kitchen. My name is Aaron. Today we're going to go over a cherry barbecue sauce recipe. This is a staple in any cuisine, but it's one of my favorites because I like to specifically cook Southern cuisine. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to measure out all of our ingredients. I've already taken care of that process for you. I have 8 ounces of ketchup in here and 8 ounces of ketchup in here. That makes 16 ounces of ketchup. It's usually pretty much 2 cups. I also have about 8 ounces of frozen pitted cherries. It's important to mention that they're frozen and pitted. You can use fresh, but if you want to use fresh, be prepared to take out the pits, and that can take a while. Also with me here I have a tablespoon of butter, 8 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, and a half a cup of brown sugar. I also have kosher salt here. It's going to help me in just a second. I'm going to show you that trick after I show you about the onion. This is just a regular everyday brown onion. I'm going to make it easy to cut though. If you haven't learned this trick yet, get ready, it's pretty neat. We're first going to take vertical cuts, and space them about 1/4 inch away from each other. What this is going to do is it's going to ensure that our onions are consistently 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch. Right now I'm making the horizontal cuts, and here you go. All you got to do is chop it away. This is one of these tricks that I learned years and years and years ago when I was at a southern restaurant. We used to have to make all kinds of, Trinity is what we called it. It was onions, bell pepper, and carrot. Let's move that to the side for right now. And I'm going to show you the next second trick for today. Garlic. I don't know how all you people clean garlic out there, but the easiest way that I've done it is I take it and I put it on the cutting board. I use the thickest part of my knife, put it on the garlic clove, and give a quick slap. What that's going to do is it's going to break the clove a little bit, but it makes the skin super easy to remove. Let's not forget that the garlic clove has a little hard end piece on it. We're going to want to get rid of that too. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to pretty much smash this piece of garlic, but the kosher salt's going to help us. What we're going to do is once you got it good and smashed, add about a teaspoon of kosher salt. We're using kosher salt because it's a little thicker, coarser grain. Pretty much that's it. You take your knife, you put your palm of your hand on the thickest part of the knife, and you just smash and go forward. Just like that. Our short break, and here comes the funnest part. It's time to cook. We have everything already mise en placed out. In case you didn't know, mise en place means everything in its place. That was the 1 tablespoon of salted butter that I put into the pan. The pan's already been heated up, so we don't have to wait so long for it to melt the butter. We swish it around until it's all completely melted. In case you're wondering, I picked up the base of this recipe from a good friend of mine. If you're ever in Boulder, Colorado, you might want to check out a place called Rat's Wood Shack. Now that our butter is all melted, we're going to add the onions. Pretty soon, your kitchen is going to be filled with all kinds of aromas and smells, and it's going to be beautiful. With the onions, I'm going to go ahead and add the black pepper, and we're going to let that sit for a minute. I use one of my favorite tools to stir it around, a paddle. This one's bamboo. I prefer bamboo because it's strong. It's pretty heat resistant. It will burn, but it takes a lot to burn it. Now that our onions are almost translucent, translucent means that you can almost see through them, kind of opaque. You'll know when they're ready because, like I said about the aromas, now you can smell the garlic. You just bring it. It smells delicious. The next thing we're going to add, guys, is our 2 cloves of garlic. You'll know when the garlic is done because it's going to become aromatic. Now, the reason I didn't add the garlic at first is because garlic has a tendency to burn. So you want to make sure that you add that right before you start adding all your liquid ingredients. Now that we have that, our kitchen is aromatized with garlic, we're going to go ahead and add in the brown sugar. Brown sugar is like regular sugar. The only difference is that it has a little bit of extra molasses in it. Usually I like to use a darker brown sugar than the one I'm using today, but regular brown sugar will work better. If you want it darker and you don't have brown sugar, maybe you're the type of person that keeps molasses in your house. If so, add a teaspoon or 2 of molasses. The next thing we're going to add, guys, is the Worcestershire sauce. Doesn't matter what brand, whatever works. But to that Worcestershire sauce, I added just a pinch of cayenne pepper. We're gonna wait till that heats up a little bit. Again, like I said, if you're ever in the mood for really good barbecue, the place to go is Rat's Wood Shack. He taught me most of the stuff I needed to learn to get a good base recipe. This is just a little bit of a tweak on mine. I like to add, again, the frozen pitted cherries. We're gonna go ahead and throw those in now. Put that to the side. Again, as I said earlier when I measured it out, each one of these holds 8 ounces of ketchup. Now, if you don't want to buy store-bought ketchup, that's okay too. It's a pretty simple recipe. You just take tomatoes, you blanch them, you cube them, you stick them in a pot and pretty much stew them. And after a while, it'll end up being a consistent, somewhat thick base for ketchup that you have. And the only thing that separates ketchup from just plain tomatoes is it has a little bit of salt and a little bit of sugar in it. We're going to go ahead and add that to the pan. Just like that. We'll get the second one. Just like that. Gonna put everything to the side, and we're gonna grab one of my favorite kitchen utensils. A whisk. Stir it around. This recipe is gonna take anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour to actually finish. When it's done, it's super good. It's worth the wait. But remember, if you're using this as a barbecue sauce, make sure that you put this in at the end of cooking whatever products you have on the grill. Because it has a high content in sugar, if you try to put it on your food and then grill it, there's a good chance that you're going to burn your food. Nobody wants burned food. Once this is done, I'm going to take it over to my blender and I'm going to puree it on high until everything, the onions, the garlic, the cherries, everything that's in there is going to become pureed, and you're going to have a nice a la nap consistency going on with your barbecue sauce. Enjoy the recipe. Follow me again in Molly's Kitchen.